All right, let's go over this. All right, using the labeling from the graph, I didn't. All right, who could give me price and quantity after tax? Zach. All right, you're not only a theater star, you're an econ star too. When does the play open up?
March 30. No, March 24th.
March 24th?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so P3Q2 is price and quantity, right? Any question on that one? All right. Jose, the area representing the total tax revenue? Okay. Here we go. Good job. Total tax revenue. All right, just remember the line from S to Z would be the amount of the tax. Okay. And since I'm just going in my little extra, that would be dead weight loss, that triangle. All right, now assume instead that demand for hats is perfectly inelastic. Andy, will the after-tax price paid by the consumer be higher, lower, or the same? Okay, well, Andy, let's look at it for a second. It'd be perfectly inelastic right here, right? Okay, so if this is the tax, and we're going to just say P1 to P3 is the same as P2 to P4. So this line now is going to be the tax here, right? Now, what's the price the consumers are going to now pay? P4. So it is higher, right? And the reason for that, because it's perfectly inelastic, the whole tax goes on the consumer because we're not going to lose any quantity because it's perfectly inelastic. Did that say explain or just no? It didn't. All right, John, did you get the next one? What's tax revenue? Does that get great? How do they say? Bigger? What are they? Higher, lower, or the same?
I said higher.
You said higher. Braden, do you agree? Ross? Lower? Okay. Mr. Jenkins? That's you.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Mr. Crandall?
Higher.
Higher. All right, Mr. Crandall, higher is the right answer, but why?
Because there's no deadweight loss and higher
I
quantity.
wouldn't higher quantity. Okay, so the tax is the same, but I'm taxing it against Q3 instead of Q2. Okay. Now, if the demand for hats remains perfectly inelastic at Q3, all right. So if this is the demand for hats, I'm going to erase all this other stuff at Q3, right? All right. So the suppliers are really getting P2, right? Because even though they're selling it for P4, they got to sell between P4 and P2 is tax they're selling to the government. So this is what they're actually getting. So it's below price, above supply for the producer surplus at X. Now, Evan, if I move it from X to A over here, because didn't they say the tax got lowered? What happens to producer surplus? Increase, decrease, or stay the same?
Increases.
You want to come up here and draw a producer surplus and show me the increase?
Ooh, that's the triangle on top, right? Or is that the space between Y?
Like this is the producer surplus at X.
Oh, I thought consumer was on the bottom.
No, producer.
So then it would decrease.
Decrease. Stay the same. It's gonna stay the same because it's perfectly inelastic and it's not changing what the producer gets. Okay, so it'd stay the same. By the way, what would happen to consumer surplus? Increase, decrease, or stay the same? Increase. What? Increase. Increase. Who wants to get the right answer? It's gonna stay the same. It's perfectly inelastic. There is no consumer surplus. There is no. Because it's perfectly inelastic. Like there's nothing, right?
Oh,
Because the demand curve is inelastic.
Did we say that the total tax that we received by the government increased?
Yeah. Because quantity, saying you're timing the tax by Q3 instead of Q2. Okay, any other questions on this? All right, I'm giving you a 2-question quiz tomorrow. Question 1. This is fair, right, Cromwell? I'm going to ask you to draw the limited reserve graph. Money supply, demand, quantity of money, nominal interest, interest rate. You have to have all of those on it. Okay. And it's 100 or 0 on that question. It's not like partial cost. Yeah, oh yeah. Then the second question is, I'm going to ask you to draw the ample reserve graph, which is supply of reserves, quantity of reserves. Supply has to be perfectly inelastic in the perfectly elastic part of the demand curve, downward sloping. I'm not even going to make you put discount rate. PR there. Policy rate and policy. What's that one called again? Ample reserve. Okay. Where? Yeah, quantity of reserve. Okay. Yes.
Isn't it the federal funds rate, the policy rate?
Yeah.
And for the bottom one's the money supply graph?
Correct. I like that you look at it, you take a picture, put it in that photographic memory.
I do not recall that.
That's good. You wouldn't want one.
Do we label like the line that go like down DR?
No. The downward sloping demand.
Yeah.
Now, if anything, the ceiling here is the discount rate.
You were just leave it like unlabeled, I guess.
I mean, like, I'm gonna show you in like 5 or 10 minutes, the College Board, and they didn't put DR on it. So if they're not asking for it, I'm not gonna ask for it. Victor, we commonly keep our clothes on in class. Okay. You can thank my first period class for this.
Ample reserve is quantity of what?
Quantity of reserve.
What's your first period class?
They barely could draw like the axis.
That's really nice.
Huh?
Talk about.
Let's talk about your first period class. Is that?
What?
The red on the limited reserve.
Interest rate, yeah. And you could label it, yeah, or I. Someone just asked me to label it. All right, we're good? Policy. Okay. All right. Who prays here? Ross? Anyone like really inspired? Goes that.
Yeah. God, thank you for getting us out of bed this morning, just to get through another day in this very short week. We hope that Ross has a good time wherever he is, Louisiana or something. I don't know, he's somewhere, not here. Hope he gets back safely, has a good time, and give us the strength to keep moving forward, get through this short week. Amen. to come up to say us out. Pieces in our hearts, you know, they're.
Are you looking forward to going to Florida?
Yeah.
It should be fun, right? Yeah, Alicia.
Does supply on ample supply here? With the line on it?
Yeah,
Is it just supply?
supply SR, supply reserves. Okay, all right, Ms. Crandall, have I asked you this before? What's the easiest thing to get 100 on in this class?
Notes?
No, AP review. AP reviewing notes, right? I'm amazed at how many people just don't put in their notes. I don't know, Crandall, one day you could explain it to me when I'm.
So with these questions, are we like not doing notes for this?
Correct, you're just answering these 10
We have to have them in by tomorrow or Monday.
tomorrow by 11:59. And then I want you to submit them tomorrow, but I want you to bring a copy of them to class Monday. Sorry. You're coming Monday, Deb, or no? Oh, that's very nice of you, Deb. Yes, sir. Yeah, you'll get zeros, sorry. You're not gonna be, oh, and there'll be no questions. I'll be very quick with them. All right, shifters. Well, I think they meant the loanable funds. The shifters are the demand, anything that impacts borrowing or investing. And to supply, anything that impacts spending or saving. I'll do another double shifter. We'll do some more practice problems, I think, tomorrow. All right, in the loanable funds, borrowers pay real interest. It's only real. And then review the terms. I think I try to review the terms, but I'll try to review some tomorrow too. I mean, it's hard because I'm trying to do some micro, some macro, get us like all going. All right, you asked me, or one class asked me to do a graph every day. I had already printed these out. So could you just turn to the back and draw a monopoly losing money? And then show me the quantity if this monopoly became a price discriminating monopoly. All right, I'm gonna just flash up the monopoly graph. I drew a straight MC, just it was easier for me to do. It doesn't have to be. All right, MC equals MR up to price. That gives me my price. I take my price to wherever the HEC is. I go straight up the profit maximizing line. Here's the loss bonds. The ATC has to be totally above the demand curve. All right, when we're doing a loss like that. Dead weight loss, I take my price, I go down to the MC. That's what I do. All right. Who remembers how to turn this into price discrimination? No?
Just do it social.
All right, so there is no MR curve, right? So demand equals MR, if I go to where MR equals MC, which is the socially optimal. Okay? Consumer surplus and price discrimination is what?
0.
Zero. Because if Jenkins wants to pay 20, pays 20, he's willing to pay 40, pays 40. There is no consumer surplus. Okay? Any questions on that?
What's an example of price?
They're really hard to find, but one of the ones you could think about in a way is college. Like, based on your finances, supposedly, we're all paying what we could afford. Even though I think colleges think if you make 100,000, you save 100,000. But
So where socially optimal is marginal cost equals demand.
yeah, so the MR folds into the demand curve. And prices, so MR equals MC or demand, yeah. Okay. Alicia? No? Okay, all right, quick review with some terms with your partner, go.
This is why All right, anything you or your partner are not sure of? Okay. All right, so ample reserves, zero reserve requirement. That's the United States right now. Limited reserve has a reserve requirement, depends what. Perfectly inelastic supply for reserves, perfect inelastic money supply. This intersects the perfectly elastic demand, that intersects the downward sloping demand curve. All right, and ample buying and selling bonds is done just to get more money in the system or out of the system, to keep it amply reserved. It is not done to change interest rates. And limited, it is the key. And it's the number one thing, buying and selling bonds to fix the economy. And ample, the Fed uses administrative rates. That's the discount and policy rate. They usually move together. They really are concerned about the policy rate, all right, that fix the economy. So those are some of the differences there that I leave with you. And then you have the two different graphs.
How would you change the money supply with ample reserves? Because wouldn't any kind of change in interest on rate on reserves, rate like greatly shift the quantity of money in the economy?
No, because money is not going in and out. The money is in the economy already.
Oh, you're saying you want to shift,
Yeah, you're changing the interest rates to entice you as a business person to either borrow more or borrow less. So if I lower the interest rates, you might borrow more to open up a new restaurant.
but we use that second, the top graph for the ample reserve.
Right.
Right.
So if I did something like this, where I know it's hard for you to see, but if I lower the interest rates, then you might borrow more as a business person at lower interest rates.
I don't get how it measures that. I understand that, but it doesn't really measure that on the graph. Isn't that just the quantity of reserves with the treasury? Or with the Fed, I'm sorry.
No, it's the quantity of reserves, right, in the entire system that's in the Fed. But the banks, it's the banks putting the money in. So the banks are putting the money in the Fed to gain interest. So if you're a business person, you want to borrow money, I just withdraw the money from the Fed if I'm a bank. Okay. Yes, sir.
What's the difference between discount and cost?
The discount is the rate the Fed will lend banks. So even though there's ample reserves, every bank isn't flush. So if I need money, the policy rate is the interest the Fed pays the bank if you put money in there. Okay. I want to flash, yes,
What are the shippers of the SRS?
I'm gonna wrap you. Resources, wages, oil are example. Actions of government, taxes, subsidies on businesses. And then productivity, which is usually technology. Anything else up there that you didn't have?
What are the shippers of the
Yeah, it's the same as production possibilities curve, change in quantity or quality of resources, technology. Then I break it down into changing human or natural resources and changing capital stock, which would be like more machines, more factories, things like that.
So with some changes in like SRS also show.
Yes. Okay. We good? All right, let's feel like 5 or 6 minutes. Let's do this. That thing. Let's do the second FRQ. No. You don't like it? What's your disdain? Yes. It's the best. Where was my whole? Okay, I'm gonna tell them. Second for order. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Where? Yeah, no. It says the actual unemployment is lower than the natural rate, right? But you have them both tied there. Yeah. They're like OT, like there's 20 words in that word. Now, this is the natural rate. You have the actual and the natural equal to each other. Reason. The actual is supposed to be lower. Now, you have the actual being higher. Unemployment is higher. Why did they do that? Okay, you could have just started there. Okay. What are we on my notes? Here, right here. Unemployment is high. You want to. Yeah, yeah. No, sample reserves. Good unemployment is higher. You want to follow. There was something. Half of it. It's not starting out at equilibrium, it's starting out with actual lower, isn't it? Doesn't say actual. Don't mind equilibrium. The actual is lower. So don't you have it higher? Since it's more unemployment than a lot of
Isn't the natural?
It should be an inflationary.
Yeah.
Because then the actual is the equilibrium and the unemployment is low. Let me see. Yes. I know this is like a test. No, I'm just kidding. What?
Why did
Why what?
how would such conflict change?
So what do you have in the ample reserve? You have discount, you have interest rates. So that you gotta manipulate the interest rate to shift aggregate. Like, if you had to do discount rate for raw, what would you do? Same thing for the ample reserve. Yeah,
Why don't we label the slide, that line?
This? You want to label it something? You can. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. It really would be from here to here is kind of like the limited reserve. So if you saw a supply curve in there, then you would know it's a limited reserve system. I think, and I think the College Board will evolve to this, where we won't teach this anymore. We'll teach it as part of this. Do you know what I mean?
I saw one place where like there were dams, there was like a supply, like a money supply curve, like straight up. That would like move along. Is that correct or no?
What do you mean?
Actually, I have it on my paper.
Like over here?
Yeah, it'd be like perfectly elastic money supply that would move along that.
Yeah, like that's where I think we're gonna evolve.
Can I draw that like now though? Would that-
No. They won't take it.
Like, can I show you this graph?
Yes, it'd be my pleasure.
Just for like, C, they wanted to draw your effect. So you could
Yeah,
reset
but-
forward down,
No, but you're not shifting the MS, you're just shifting the,
but that's where the equilibrium will be. Can I just draw an equilibrium point there?
no, the equilibrium should be on the original money supply.
Where are you pointing?
Right here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's here, but like I shift this up, this is not reserves, right?
Right.
So wouldn't it that be there? And I
No,
know it's here.
No, the MS is in shift.
I should, yeah, that's what I'm saying, it's gonna
But
be.
what you have.
When you increase this interest on reserve rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
What am I supposed to do there then? Is that how you're supposed to?
No, you're just doing the interest rate. I'm gonna show you what it does.
I don't understand.
You're just shifting the interest rate, Sam.
I did that, I don't know how to explain it, I increase the interest rate, I just go where the equilibrium would be with the relative funds.
I don't remember. No, but it's on the same money supply. It's on your original.
Should I be label that or something else there that is the R?
Yeah.
Oh, that's, yeah. I got it.
Oh, okay.
And I did that kind of like.
No, you just leave. Because the reserves aren't changing.
See what you do.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna stop us. And yes, you would have more time, but we don't have. So, and when I was walking around, people had some trouble with this. It's an inflationary gap. Why? This is your natural rate of unemployment. And they said have a lower unemployment rate in the actual. This is your actual, you're making more products, you need more workers. So those are those 2 points. Okay. B, assume the country's banking system has ample reserves. All right. So, Mr. Crandall, what do I want to do with aggregate demand here? Shift it right or left? I want to shift it left. If I'm going to try to shift it left, what do I want to do with policy rate? If you think of policy rate as interest rates, what do I want to do with it? Damien? I want to increase it because if I increase the administrative rates, I lower investment and I shift aggregate demand to the left. Okay, now with the ample reserve, really to change the economy, all you're thinking about is do I lower the administrative rates being policy and discount, or do I increase them? That's the main monetary pull. So you said states should increase. Now they ask you to graph it. Here is their graph. Okay, they didn't label discount rate, so I guess we're not going to have to. This is demand for reserves, quantity of reserves, policy rate original, and then they show the interest rate of the discount rate going up.
They prefer to be able to add this policy or discount rate.
I mean, they have policy rate here. Sam?
So the graph, when you shift it upward, will retain that same asymptotic behavior, it'll just become a little bit more compressed.
Yes. Go.
Do we label that line DR?
Yeah, and mine before I didn't, but yeah, you should. So it's demand of reserve.
We would just draw that graph and not like the fact that it has on the graph that we just did.
Yeah, they didn't ask you to, right? Yeah. They didn't say. They could ask you questions in D based on this. All right, but they didn't ask you to graph it. So you don't have to. You're talking about the LRAS, SRAs, yeah.
When they talk about their like, what did they say they shift upward? What was the rate they called it?
They call it the administrative rate.
We find it called the interest on reserves rate.
Huh?
Isn't it the interest on reserves rate?
I mean,
Call it
the
that?
policy rate is the interest on reserves. So they are the same. I think what they're calling an administrative rate, Sam, because that's the policy and the discount, both of them. So they're both going up, so they're doing that. I'm pretty sure, but I'll try to ask if you would just say policy rate, would that be accepted?
Do you have to increase the discount rate for this to happen? No, I don't think-
No, they usually just move together. Okay. All right, now D, based on this higher interest rate,
Jose, what's gonna happen to real output? It would decrease because AD shifts left due to lack of investment. Okay, natural rate of unemployment. Stays the same. The LRAS isn't moving. Okay, now, your last thing was the short run average supply, and I want to move this way. If left on your own, you're making a lot of output, you need a lot of workers. Therefore, when you negotiate wages are going to increase SRAS to the left. And when SRAS moves left, employment decreases. Or do you need what? You need to say, because it said explain, Alex. So all you needed to say is wages increase, that's our add. Any other questions? Okay, have a great day. Put your note in the box. Patrick wants more FRQs, we'll do it. I think you'll get to the use the line. Yeah. That's what I like. Oh. I just now realized. Oh, you're taking the zero on the foot then. You didn't have to tell me. No. I want to give it to respect and deserve. Really? Mind if I log out of that? Oh, yeah, you can. Sure. A lot of work for me there. I don't know. Maybe he will not sign.